Welcome to my podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm so excited you are here. You will hear some incredible stories about how people are serving around the world, how they overcame a struggle, how they serve. These shows will give you an edge in business and your personal life. I believe serving over sales will help you grow in so many ways. And now, about our incredible sponsor, Info. Info is a web app that puts your business on people's cell phones when you meet people online or in person. They can engage with your business or send out referrals with a button click, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The power of business is connecting with more people. Remember, your network is your net worth. Info will do this for you. I would love to help spread the word about these shows, so please subscribe to this podcast and find us on all your podcast platforms. Please share with anyone you know who could benefit from our shows. Please enjoy the show. Welcome, everyone, to another incredible episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart, and a fellow podcaster, host, and gentleman I've met a few times. We've talked earlier. You're going to get some great nuggets. He's got a lot of experience, and I know he serves his clients and his prospects. Hey, Morris, welcome to the show.
Hey, Steve, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here, brother.
I have to ask to start this whole show off is, reading through your bio, you started as a chemical engineer. Now you're in finances and sales.
Yeah, I always wanted to be an engineer. At least that's what my mother told me. And got the degree. Went to work for Union Carbide, made ever-ready batteries, and Prestone is what they did. And I did that for 5 years down in New Orleans. Left Alabama, went to New Orleans, and did that for 5 years. And said, you know what? I think I'd like to go do something that's going to be fun. So I'm going to go sell life insurance. And the result usually is a big, huge laugh when I tell that. But the fact is, it tended to work out. I spent 32 years with New York Life Insurance Company. After a couple of years, they said, why don't you come over here and teach other people to do what you do? Long story short, wound up in New York running the training operation for 12,000 agents and a few hundred managers. A staff of a couple of hundred people around the country. So it was a blast, but in and amongst all that, I learned not only how to sell, but also learned how adults learn, and got into that whole learning and development world and had a blast doing that. And then I retired, and now, Steve, I'm having more fun today than I've had in my entire life. It's been a blast running this company and hosting a podcast. We're having fun now, buddy.
That's what I like to hear. And that's exciting to me. 61, I'm around the corner where you're at. And that's what I'm hoping to do. And I know I will. Education sounds like a big part of what you do. But going back to this managing 12,000 agents, sounds like leadership should be a part of this too, or was a part of it.
I think it becomes a part of everything. We would work on teaching our managers just exactly that, leadership skills, as well as our agents, because the agents, they're running their own business essentially also, and some of them have large staff. So running that business seemed to be a very important part of the deal for them to be successful. So when I started a podcast called The Business of Sales, it's because I saw so many people come into our business who were great at sales. They could learn all the product stuff. They could learn all the sales skills, and they had that ability to connect with people with a servant's heart. And they knew what they needed to do there, but they didn't know how to run a business, Steve, and they wound up bankrupt because they had this terrible idea that their commission check was their paycheck. And they took that commission check and they would spend it all. And then when business expenses came up, they didn't have any money left over, and they didn't know how to get it, and they didn't know how to save money, and they didn't know how to pay taxes. So we had to include all that into our training program. And even then, it still didn't work. So that's where the podcast idea came from, and why we spend a lot of time with guests who are other business owners. And we always talk about, well, tell me, what are a couple of things that you do that help you run an effective and efficient business? And we get into that. So yeah, I love what I do. I love working with people. And I used to tell my staff, because you know how you get promoted up to the point where all of a sudden you're an administrator and no longer doing the fun stuff. And I told my staff one day, I said, look, guys, put me up in front of a group of people. I am the biggest ham there ever was. Put me in front of a group of people, and you're going to make me the happiest camper in the world. And so now I get to run workshops, I get to do keynote addresses, and I get to run training programs and build training programs for companies. And I'm having more fun than I've ever had.
I love what you said to your staff. Hey, I'm a ham. Leadership can be fun, but it's got to be positive too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a big part of it. So in your on your website, some words caught my eye. Get what you want. In sales and finance and in money, kind of that's all our goal, but why is that up there? And what's your message with that?
It comes from what I learned from that pioneer in the business out there. I guess pioneer, it's the same stuff's been around forever and ever and ever. Zig Ziglar. He said, if you'll just help people get what they want, then you're surely going to be able to get what you want. And I thought, you know what, that just rings so true to me and so right. And it is the way that I always wanted to deal with sales. Is I'm here to help you accomplish whatever you want to accomplish. I'm here to help you solve whatever problem is on the table for your business or your family. I'm here to help you. And with that kind of a mindset, all of a sudden, all the pressure came off of my shoulders, and I no longer was all terribly worried about, oh my God, I got to make this sale in order to make the mortgage. No, it kind of went away. And I realized that one sale is not going to make or break my career. And it's still not. One sale is not going to be big enough to make my career for the rest of my life. And one sale is not going to be big enough that if I lose it, I'm going to go bankrupt and be done. So with that kind of an idea and that kind of a mindset, the pressure came off of me for that everyday kind of thing and became more of a focus on what do I have to do to make sure I'm in front of enough people so that the numbers will work. And eventually I'll run into that right person who has the problem that I can help them solve.
That's a true servant. You just titled my whole podcast, and I love that you did that. I always like to ask, because as a servant, you help everybody, but sometimes you personally, your business can't help them. What do you do?
Oh, we get them to somebody that can. That's the whole idea. I want to help you get what you want. If I can't solve your problem, let's find the right person who can. And that's kind of the way it always works. I sort of learned this when I was managing at the local level, when I was training agents and managing individual agents. I had a guy that was doing okay, but he obviously wasn't doing as well as he could have been. Excuse me. He's not doing as well as he could have. And frankly, he wasn't doing what we've suggested that he do. So he came into my office one day. I said, David, buddy, we love you. Everybody here loves you. We think you're absolutely great, but it's just not working out. You're not getting to where you want to be, and you deserve to be absolutely outstanding at whatever you do. So let's help you figure out what you can be outstanding and how we can help you get to whatever it is that's going to make you just absolutely top in the list. Well, yeah, he didn't like that. And, he said, no, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be good at it. Great, buddy. And we're here to support you. We're here to help you. About a year later, we were at the association of people that we worked with, the life insurance folks in the state of Arkansas. And he had just won the New Agent of the Year award for the state of Arkansas because he turned it around. So on the way out to the car, we're all walking along, our spouses, and there are 6 or 8 of us, I guess. He kind of pushes me off to the side and he says, I want you to know one thing. David, what's on your mind, buddy? You are the one that made me win this award tonight. I said, really? He said, yeah. When you told me this wasn't the business for me, I got so mad and so upset, and I have been so pissed at you ever since that I was going to prove to you that I could do it. So you're the reason that I won this award. Thank you. Well, I never had anybody thank me for pissing him off, but this kid got a fire underneath him. He went out and did it. Then he went out on his own. He's got his own advisory company that he does now. And I think he went more into the stocks and bonds kind of world, but he's doing great. Yeah. I mean, this is 30 years ago, and he's run a beautiful business ever since then and has done extremely well. So you just never can tell what you can do to help somebody else get what they need and help them solve their problem. But That's the focus.
Yeah.
It was David, if this isn't going to be what you want, let us help you find what is going to be what you want and what is going to be the solution to providing for you and your family and lighting your fire and building your passion.
It's a fantastic story. That leads to the lesson I want the audience to hear. I want you to answer this. Business owners have a hard time with those hard conversations. You made it so matter of fact, and I think that's probably how you did it. And the result was incredible for this man. If that person doesn't have that hard conversation with David, he probably wouldn't be where he is today, correct?
Absolutely.
And this is a
Absolutely.
problem with owners that I'm hearing the last years. They don't want to have that hard conversation. How important is that?
Well, it gets back down to being honest and transparent. I mean, I can shine you on and tell you how great you are while you go bankrupt, or I can try and help you get what you want. But again, I got to find out what that is first. And that requires that I ask a lot of questions about you and about your family and about who you are and what's important to you. What's important to you, not what's important to your mom, your dad, your spouse, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, the stranger on the street that just told you ought to do this and such. What's important to you. And once I get to that point with someone and we're at that level of conversation where we're sharing and being vulnerable with each other, then I can reach out and try and help you. And because of the relationship we've built, that I'm here to try and help you achieve your objectives and get your desires, make your desires come to pass. And if that's the relationship we have, Steve, then that hard conversation becomes more of a, I love you and I want to help you. And this is what I see. How can I help you get past that?
Tough love, all
help?
that. Yeah, the tough love, because I do love you. And I love what you said about you bring family into the conversation, because business owners have to go home to a family. If that family's all over the place, right? Let's speak to that a little bit.
Well, it's the old, oh golly gee, you got to have balance in your life between your work life and your family life. You need balance. I don't believe there's any such thing as balance. I believe there are seasons in our lives, and we go through different seasons. And you'll have a season where family is absolutely the most important thing to you, and it's where you've got to spend your time and your effort and your resources. And frankly, to heck with the business at that point. This is more important. There are other times when things are going on in the business, and I've got to be in New York. I've got to be in Dallas. I've got to be there. I can't be here for your wrestling match this week, son. I'm sorry, but I've got to go. This is part of my career and what I do to keep the lights on in the house, and luckily my kids learned that early on. And to this day, when I start beating myself up and saying, guys, I'm sorry I wasn't the dad that was there all the time, they look at me and my son will say, yeah, Dad, but we always had something to eat. And we always had a roof over our mouth.
Amen.
Over our head.
Amen, Morris.
And that just was exciting to me. But I'll tell you this, seasons do occur. When my son was 11 years old, he was diagnosed as a juvenile diabetic. And we spent the next week in the hospital learning how to give him insulin injections, how to measure his blood sugar, and how to deal with a preteen who had this terrible, terrible disease, juvenile diabetes, type 1 diabetes. And the thing that I just got to throw in here real quick, Steve, is people don't understand the disease. It's a horrible disease. It basically eats the inside of your body inside out. And it's absolutely a terrible, terrible disease. Everybody thinks, oh, well, diabetes is no big deal. You just take some insulin, then you're fine. No, you're not. It still is there, and it's still just chewing up the inside of your whole body. So it's something that you got to not only learn how to deal with on a symptomatic basis, but on a long-term basis. And it's terrible. It is a terrible, terrible disease. So he's been dealing with, pardon me. He's been dealing with that since he was about 11 years old. He's 36 today, and 11 days ago had his first child. So I guess actually his beautiful bride Kendall had their first child. But he's doing great. Everything's wonderful. But the fact is, that was a season in my life where I didn't care what the company said, or whether they liked it or not. I was at the hospital for 8 or 10 days. And then a few days after that, we were at home getting everything set up that we needed to do. And if I may, I'll tell you one more quick story about that. We were, months down the road. He's learned how to figure out what he can eat, what he can't eat. And he was sitting at the kitchen counter. Here he is, 11 and a half years old, sitting at the kitchen counter with a baggie, a Ziploc baggie, and he's counting Cheetos, those little cheese crackers. He's counting them and putting them in the baggies. And I said, son, what you up to? He said, well, I'm getting my lunches ready for next week. I said, wow, that's amazing. I said, what, and he explained it to me. He could only have so many Cheetos every day for lunch. And that was in his bag. He set it up for the entire week. And I said, Ross, yeah, I got to tell you, buddy, I'm not sure at your age whether I would be as consistent and relentless with this as you are. And I'm just really proud of you. Son, you're my hero. You're my hero because you're doing this and you're doing it so very, very well. And he didn't, without missing a beat, he looked at me and said, Dad, if I don't, I'll die.
Wow.
And I thought, my God, this kid gets it. At 11 years old, he understands and he's responsible. So he's still my hero. He's still my hero. It always will be. It's just no way around it. Don't make me tell stories that make me cry, Steve. That's not fun. But the kid is still my hero, but it's back to family. That was a season where I had to be there for my family. There's other seasons where I had to be there for my business, where things were going on and I had to be somewhere for my business. So it ebbs and flows, but both are vitally important, and you can't let one overtake the other for a long period of time. You got to recognize when those seasons start and when they stop.
I love the seasons. I'm going to borrow that. That is an audience. Listen to that. That is it's simple. And we have obligation. You work for XYZ company. Even if you're the CEO or you're the owner, you are obligated to do it. And again, I love that. Thank you for sharing that story. And I'm so happy your son's doing well. I mean, and thriving. And you're right. How many adults would have made that decision? I don't know how many.
I mean, there came a time in my life where the doctor said, Morris, if you don't stop drinking, your liver is going to revolt and you're not going to be around anymore. So I had to stop. I had to stop if I was going to continue to enjoy life and enjoy it more abundantly. And that's not easy to do. It took me a long time to get past that one. And that's true, I think, of all of us, but especially adults. We are pretty well set in our ways. And it takes a lot to get us to move and do something differently. And that why has to be so vitally important. And that why are you in the business you're in, Steve? Why do you do what you do? And, the surface answer is I do it because I have to provide for my family. But there's something underneath that. There's something underneath that makes us do what we do all day long. I call it a why. And I tell people your why has to be wrapped in passion and fueled with emotion. And if it's not, then it's just a surface kind of an answer and you haven't gotten there yet. And that's not the stuff that'll get you out of bed. You need a why that's wrapped in passion and fueled with emotion. So you'll get up out of bed every day and go tackle the difficult things that you have to tackle to be a business owner, to be a professional salesperson, to do these kinds of things. So yeah, I'm with you 100%. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And habits are hard, but they need to be worked on. I'm sure that's part of your consulting and what you do. Let's do a shout out first. How can this audience, my listeners, get a hold of you? Because I know people are going to have questions or want to just talk to you because those stories were amazing. How can they connect with you?
Well, thanks, Steve. MorrisSims.com, MorrisSims, one M, and a whole bunch of S's.com. It's currently in the process of being rebuilt, so please cut me some slack right now. It's not all that great, but we are rebuilding it. It's going to be a whole lot better come soon. But you can also get a hold of me very easily at morris@morrissims.com. morris@morrissims.com. And I'll even throw a phone number out there. It's 914-482-8714. And would love to chat with anybody that would like to chat. I'm here for you, and we can talk.
Awesome.
Oddly enough, Steve, my top client right now is a travel agency owner, and we're working with her travel agents and 2 other travel agency owners, and we're working with them to understand the sales process and how that works in their business and how we can help them grow their individual businesses as well as grow the agency. So it's fun. It's a blast. I would never have thought I'd have the opportunity to work with travel advisors, but I'll tell you what, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And they have fun. I know that. I've talked to a few.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, let's jump into the podcast before we run out of time, because I love your podcast. Again, name of the podcast you mentioned earlier. And who are you looking for in your show? What are people going to hear when they listen to your podcast?
Well, thanks. The podcast, generally, we're publishing 3 shows a week right now, 2 with guests, and 1 is a short form that is me just expounding on something. It's just me talking about something. Did one a couple of weeks ago on the fact that you ought to definitely put handwritten notes into your systems so that you can tell people thank you for their impact on your life. Everybody that's on my show gets a handwritten note and a Starbucks gift card to go have a cup of something on me. But that was just one quick little thing. The guests on the show right now are business people like the audience who are trying to run a business and do things better and better. We're moving into an era where we will be hosting more people who are from the larger operations in the world. Our sponsor right now is Allego, ALLEGO.com. It's a sales enablement platform. And if you've got a large group of salespeople to train, Allego provides a platform to do a whole bunch of stuff. It's just amazing what all it'll do. And that's kind of the guests that we're looking for now, is folks that are using those kinds of things so that we can talk about that more. But business owners, Steve, folks just like me and you who've got a business that they'd like to talk about that can help other people.
That's awesome. So check it out. All this information will be in the show notes so you can reach out to him. Quick question, books. And behind you is a bunch of books. Can you shout out a book that's helped you, the audience might want to read to help them?
Well, there's not just one. It's a whole library, I think, of stuff. The thing that I've learned, and my master's thesis was on this whole point, the basics of how to live successfully, define success however you'd like. The basis of that, the foundation of that, are principles. Pardon me, are principles that have been around for ages. Most of them go back to biblical times or before. But every generation, it seems, has to learn them all over again. It's amazing. Tony Robbins is of this generation, if you will, yet he's been around for a couple of generations now. He's been successful at it. And he's expounding on things that have been around for ages and ages and ages. So if you go back and you look at the mid-1900s, you'll find stuff like Think and Grow Rich with Napoleon Hill, that highly impactful. One that I don't know that a lot of people know, and I'll just throw this one out, Steve, is the author's name is Og Mandino. Og Mandino. He wrote a book called The Greatest Salesman in the World. That book changed my life. Then he wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World Part 2. And that one had a significant impact on me, along with all the other 8 or 10 books that Og wrote. Very, very good guy, very good stuff. And in today's world, Deep Work is a book by Cal Newport. He's a professor of computer science at a university in the East Coast. And he wrote this book called Deep Work. It basically supports the whole idea that you have to get past that surface level and go down deep and stay down long to really achieve great creativity and great production results. Mm-hmm. And you can't do it on the surface. You can't do it with that thing that people like to call multitasking, which is basically you and me just jumping from one thing to the other real fast. You got to have some time to actually do some deep work. So there you have it, brother. That's best I got.
Well, those are great, but I love Og Mandino. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned him. I'm thinking Grow Rich has changed my life too. So those are great books. Well, we're coming to the end here. You're not only an expert at what you do, but what I love about you, Morris, and audience, I want you to hear this. This is important to me. You've got a beautiful soul. And I think that's where leadership and sales come in, is you care about your people, but you're also serving, which you're serving your sales, but if you have a serving mindset when you're selling and have that leadership you just mentioned on the show, you just gave us some great nuggets. Again, shout out, what's your phone number and email again so the audience can reach out?
Thank you. pardon me, the allergies in Texas are driving me nuts. It's Morris, Morris, at morrissims.com. And email is usually the easiest and best way to get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to chat with anybody that would like to talk.
And I'll put a challenge out there, reach out to him, because he is a great guy. As you can see, I was excited to have him on the show. Now, I like the end of the show. You've given us so many great nuggets of information that we could take. I'm going to take like seasons. That's going to be written all over my computer screens. But what's another tip? Something that would help my audience in their journey, personally and professionally, or one or the other, that you've learned, that you've secured and worked with over these years?
Oh, great question. The one thing that I love to teach and I love to talk about is what I learned when I went out and had to start my own business. Before I retired, people would say, "Gee, Morris, what are you going to do when you retire?" And I didn't know. I had no idea. So the easiest answer I could come up with to get them off my back was, "Oh, I'm going to start my own business. So I'm going to start my own training business. That's what I'm going to do." Okay. Right. Then all of a sudden I retired, Steve, and I had to do it. Oh. And that was like night and day, because you can't believe all the crap that's on the internet that says, "Oh, you can build your own website. Oh, you can do your own forms. You can be your own attorney. You can do." No, you can't. Or at least maybe I can't do that. So you got to learn the basics of running a business, and it's different than being an employee anywhere. So what I learned and what I love to share with folks is that there are three very important questions you've got to be able to answer. The first is what? What is it that you want? And it's got to be real clear. And I call this whole thing the clarity principle. And yeah, I do keynotes on it and all the rest of that stuff. But the clarity principle basically says you got to be really clear about what it is that you want. If you're not, you never know when you get there, first of all. But secondly, if you're not really, really clear about it, then you're not necessarily going to be on the right track to get there. The second question is why? Why do you want whatever it is that you decided that you wanted? And it's got to be more than, as I said earlier, it's got to be more than, well, I've got to do this to pay the bills. Now go deeper, because it's got to be about you. It's got to be what you really want, because that's what's going to get you out of bed on those cold mornings when you put your feet on the floor and you think, "Gee, I just want to get back under the covers." So you got to understand what your why is. You got to be really clear about what your why is. And number three, you've got to know what your how is. How are you going to get from where you are to whatever it is that you identified in number one? The fuel to get you there is your why. That's what's going to fuel your work. I was reading the other day, it's kind of like the same relationship that steam has to a locomotive, to a steam engine. It's the fuel that makes it move. Well, your why is what gets you up in the morning and gets you moving on the right track. How is your strategy? You can only have one or two strategies. And I guess if there was one concept in all of this that really makes a difference, it is that you can't have 10 strategies, one or two, because you have to be able to focus. Focus is the key, and that's the skill, that's the principle on which I have tried to build my business and help my clients, is how to get it down to two strategies and then focus so that you can go deep and stay down long and get whatever it is that you want, whatever you decided in that first picture of what it is that you want. The way you get there is by having a strategic action plan. And that's kind of a long answer to a short question, Steve. I'm sorry. But there